So here we are at the hangar with the Cruzer. We're going to do our fuel check and monitoring and setting the Dynon fuel computer. And the first question is, where is the ladder, for those who don't know? And it is in the corner of the hangar.
Ladder in the corner here. We do need a ladder to check the fuel in Zulu X-ray Charlie. And the next question, of course, is where's the dipstick? So behind the pilot's seat, we have two dipsticks. We have the accurate one and the not so accurate one. This one's fine to use. It averages between the two tanks, and it's wood, so the fuel will creep up as you wait. So it's not quite as accurate as the plastic one, but it will work. But we will use the accurate one. So there's left and right. Left is the left tank, the left side. Right is the right tank, the right side. So we're going to start with the right tank.
Little key.
So we have three keys. Brass is the ignition, B for business, brass for business. And then the door key locks, and then the smallest one is the fuel cap.
Excellent.
So if the fuel cap happens to be locked, you stick the key in, turn it 180 degrees, pull it out, and now the caps will open. Now we'll dip the tank. It's the right tank on the aircraft. Hold the dipstick straight up and down. Put it in. You can wait a little bit to let the fuel stop bobbing around. Finger or thumb on the top, pull it out. And there's our fuel quantity. So just under 25, we'll call that 24, 24 and a half. We'll say 24.
And it's probably advisable to repeat that 3 times to make sure that your first measurement was accurate.
This one's a little lower, 24. Same again, 24. Fuel cap back on properly. Locked, closed. So we've just started up. Our fuel gauges are on the top right here. So in the right side it's showing 22, we measured 24. On the left it's saying 26, we measured 26. Now we'll look at the, right away, I haven't touched anything, I haven't told it anything. The fuel computer has noticed that we've added fuel to this airplane. So it already comes up automatically with our fuel computer quantity adjustment. Big yellow levels mismatch. So up here is the liters remaining. And we've calculated that we have 50 liters of fuel on board, and it's only got 15 liters of fuel. So we're now going to set the fuel so that they match. So we think we have 50 liters. It is measuring the fuel in tank as 48.5 liters. That's close to our 50 liters, so we'll set it to 50 liters. So I'll just turn the fuel and increase it until the current fuel computer quantity is 50. So we've measured, dipped in the tank 50 liters, we've set it to 50 liters, and now we can accept it. And now our fuel computer says 50 liters remaining. Notice it hasn't changed at all what's on the gauges. The gauges always measure whatever fuel it measures in the tank. So if the nose is way high up in the air, it will measure 0 fuel in the tank, even if they're half full. The liters remaining is only correct if it was set correctly to start with, and if all the fuel is going through the fuel flow meter in the forward of the firewall, and measures how much fuel the engine's burning. Now, if it doesn't come up, if there's a mismatch here, and the quantity doesn't come up, you're going to have to get into that fuel setting on your own. And the fuel setting is in engine, and then fuel, and that same screen pops up. If you don't have a good dip of how much, or it's out by a couple liters and you're not quite sure how much is on board, but you know how much was added, you can just add, oh, I added 20 liters to the plane, so you can just put add 20 liters, and now it says we have 70.
And that adjustment is made by turning the right-hand button, and which will cause the numbers to change.
Whichever button has fuel. If the fuel label was over here, then we would turn this one. But the fuel label is over here, so we turn that one. So you're always, these buttons never do a specific thing. So you're always looking to see what each button will do. Oh, there's the fuel. Turn it, adjust it, we're good. So again, once we've got that quantity so that it's right, we'll accept it. And then we're done setting the fuel. So the fuel selector is fairly simple, but it has to be done properly. Right now, it's on the right tank. The other option is left tank. There is no both, and there is an off down on the bottom. To get to the off position, which is not a normal setting we would ever use, it's for emergencies only, you pull the pin, turn it to off, and the pin will lock it in the off position, and now it's locked in off. Normally, we only switch between the right and left tanks, so this pin should never be pulled. Right now we've got more fuel in the left tank than the right tank, so we're going to take off on the left tank, start and take off on the left tank, so we'll switch to the left tank. To switch, without pulling the pin, turn it all the way to the stop and leave it on the left tank. If we wanted to go back to the right tank, don't pull the pin, all the way to the right, leave it on the right tank.